Hello there everyone, this is Iron Mark 3 and welcome back to FTT ToBA, that one boaty adventure, where my cannon is trying to decide what the heck to do and well, it was made for long-range bombardment, I've got to give it props for that, but I've got to get this thing fixed. Oh, jeez. I mean, this is kind of bad actually. Fun to watch it though, just like spazzing out like that, just twitchy. There's something over that way, let's just keep firing. We'll hit it sooner or later, boys. Hey. Also, that missile launcher is worse than useless. It keeps messing up. I think I'll probably just take it out. I mean, it's an interesting little addition, but I didn't implement it very well at all, did I? It needs injectors on it more than anything else. Okay, let's tear you out. Let's see, you are mounted back here. Goodbye, missile launcher. You will stop blowing up stuff on my ship right now. Right. Okay, I'm thinking of making this one like a buildy episode, because, you know, we need a nice little buildy episode, don't we? Yes, we do. Don't deny it, you know we do. There's a lot of things wrong with the ToBA which need to be worked on by way of building things. What are you even shooting at, actually? That is a hoplite. Okay. So is it... Really? You're struggling to hit a flipping hoplite? Oh, the cannon is actually getting close enough to detonate the... to damage the balloons. No wonder it's causing a few issues for that thing. Okay. But yeah, this thing does need some serious adjustment on it. But that's not what I'm going to start with, actually. What I'm going to start with is... Actually, it's going to be the cannon anyway. Honestly, I've kind of forgot what my build order list is. Right. I'm just going to let the cannon quite happily keep itself entertained in the background while I go into here and start to lay the foundation, which is going to be a smoke Gatling. If you remember when we built this cannon in the first place, we agreed that that was something that would be a good idea for this. Don't know why, but you know. Okay, we've got 175 meters per second shell, so that's what we need to know. Just let you keep on trying to bombard things. Enjoy yourself there. But 175 meters per second, we need to get together a 200mm grade smoke shell, because that is apparently the minimum where we have a smoke effect, and we need it to be a Gatling style shell as well in that speed category, so the less cooldown we can fit to it, the better, quite honestly. We also need a ranged detonation module and other things like that. So, where is the smoke shell actually? Smoke shell. I can't remember. I've never put together a smoke shell. There it is. Smoke warhead. Kinetic damage 0.4, 0.4. Gauges 200mm or better. Let's put that there. And we will install a sabot head. Actually, do we need more than this? I'm not convinced we do. I think we could get away even with a mere 3-module piece. How it's looking. If I put a sabot head on it, of course, because sabot's got the best velocity profile. And then we add the smoke warhead, and it's still going way faster than the shells from the actual crown cannon will. So, right. Is it worth adding more smoke to it? Oh yeah, we actually need a detonator on it as well. I said that, and then I forgot that. So that means I'm just being an idiot as usual. Shell nose, give me again the Sabo head for the velocity boost. And then we want a timer fuse on it. There we go. And that should about do it, actually. We just need to get the speed down, which means we need to actually take out of the gunpowder casing. Ooh. That's the wrong setting. Yeah. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. There it is. I know what I'm doing. I think that's my catchphrase, isn't it, at this point? There we go, 175. Perfect. 0.76. Relatively low recoil. Very low kinetic. It will cause some damage, but cooldown after firing is 5 seconds. Okay, yep, we can definitely make a decent Gatling out of that. It's going to be relatively cheap as well. On the bright side, though, we actually managed to kill the hoplite. Yay, murder! 21 materials, though, not exactly worth it. But anyway, let us get started on this thing. Now, this is, of course, going to be replacing these two barrels here. Let's get the mode in. And there was some confusion about this when I was talking about where it's going to be. And where it's going to be is like recessed into this underside section here. Maybe back here if I think it's needed, but I don't. So basically this is going to be two cannons situated back here. Let's tear out these metal plates for the moment. Yes. We need to get rid of these barrel pieces as well. And it's going to come back through here. The only drawback is that it needs to drop by 1. Otherwise, it requires cutting into the cannon, which is not what's wanted. Okay, advanced cannon, advanced firing pieces. Make sure it's locked in the correct direction. It needs to be here. And a couple of heavy 3-meter. No, wait. We need bore evacuators, so it's 2-meter barrel. Oops. Almost made another mistake there. Actually, this should be the bore evacuators should be recessed. People like to put them, from what I've heard, recessed back a little bit, but got to remember that there's actually some metal plating around this barrel. So yes, that looks okay. And now I need to figure out how to get this thing worked in. I think reducing the cannon ever so slightly. What will this affect? It would slightly reduce the power of the shells if I take that one out, because that is now not connected. But I think it's a necessary sacrifice. Slightly reduce the reload speed as well. Yeah. That's all okay though. Okay. So yeah, I just need to work this out and we'll get this thing wormed back into the guts of the cannon. So, see you in a couple of moments when I've got something a little more interesting to look at than blank walls and things. Well, never say that this series has no action, because this is the long-range bombardment cannon. It's once again decided there's something worthy of throwing its shells at. So it's going boom, boom, boom while I'm still working on it. Okay, what I've done is I've got these Gatlings. I have configured them to 200mm shell and worked out exactly how many barrels can be fitted to them and things like that. So these are treble barrel Gatlings. I've also actually recessed the fine piece a little bit further to allow for a bit more barrel length. Let's actually have them stick out slightly as well, like that. So that's an extra pair of bore evacuators, so it won't have any bonus effect. It's just there to make it look a little bit better. The subguns have decided, oh, it's another flyer. I seem to be getting a lot of flyers around here, actually. Weird that. Everything loves to be flying in this area, but it's now getting shelled out of the sky. Incoming missiles, though. That's slightly problematic. Tore through one of the subguns. I have a feeling that thing might be slightly dead. Is that? Ooh, that was a bit of a sound glitch. A swordfish, actually. I must say though, thank you whoever it was that talked me into putting in fuses on that cram cannon. They serve very well, quite honestly. Though I'm also convinced that, well, confess that I have reduced the calculation times on the AI dealing with the sub guns, which is why they seem to be struggling quite a bit with something like this. When it changes and moves around, it throws them off for a few seconds. But then it's found them again, so it's just keeping on going. And, yep, torn out of the air. Okay, let's get back to doing the thing. Anyway, right. The other thing I have to say is that I have extended this thing underneath here, as you can see. I just worked it through, separated it, and it's all even Steven. And this is all the gauge increases so far, so from here on out it is coolers to improve the rate of fire. And I'm thinking of using this convenient little gap here, which I worked into the which I worked into the design of the cram cannon, as part of the ammo rack storage for these things. Either I'm just going to have it extend flat out. I think flat might be safer actually if I like have it flat a couple blocks out this way. I'd have to rearrange these guys again though. Yeah, I think that's probably the safer course of action though, actually. Yeah, so if I do it like this. Sorry, we're in the Tetris phase, as you can probably tell. Yep, just like that. The advantage is now that I've actually got these things flattened out like this, I can go ahead and, you know, just keep on doing the stuff. I've had another thought. Oh dear. Too many thoughts. Too many thoughts. So little time, so little time. Too many lies, too many lies. I completely forget what that thing is. I mean, it originally Boondock Saints, but then I picked it up from Team 4 Stars Helsinger Bridge, so it's like, I have no idea what the original quote even is or what it means. It's just like, too many time, too many lies, yada yada. I don't know. I just don't know, okay? I don't know a lot of things. Leave me alone. The number of things I know can be counted on 4 fingers. Wait, that's being generous. 3 fingers. 3.5 fingers. I don't even know anymore. What am I blathering on about? Jeez. Why do I have a big shell which claims it is only made out of... Well, that's the one I want. That's the one I want. Why does it say that I've got a big shell somewhere which has absolutely nothing in it? That's weird, that. I mean, there should only be one other on the ship. What? That's not the shell I set up. What? Where'd my shell go? Now that is a weird bug. That it's wiped my shell. It was not like that when I started. This means that these guys are firing blanks. What? Okay, hang on. This is weird. Okay, it doesn't. Oh yeah, they don't even have magazines. I can't even check that. So, what the hell happened to those shells? I didn't touch that shell thing. It just randomly reset itself to 0. It wasn't like that 10 minutes ago. Well, 20, 30 minutes ago. Oh, there we go. The Gatlings is actually starting to do something. I think I want to go back to the previous settings. I also need to look up the comment from Rasul about configuring my sensors further. I just remembered it, and it's I agree that my sensors are completely messed up. Oh my! Yeah, that's what I just need more. Let's see. Before I start, I increase the times on these. I want to get it back down to like 1 second. So about there. And then I'll look up the comment and see exactly what Rasul suggested I do to it. Still, right now they're firing basically like shotguns, firing sprays of 3 bullets as fast as it cools down. So the main problem right now is actually cooldown for this gun. But do we need that much smoke? Also, a good idea actually would be tracers on those, wouldn't it? That was a bit more dangerous and a lot more pyrotechnics, I must admit, as well. Oh, it's run dry on one of the guns. Okay. So it can't sustain long-range barrage very well because of its belt feds. Isn't this gun meant to be like more of a continuous thing? Still though, I need to reset this as well. What the heck happened to it? Why did you change? Well, this fits perfectly actually. Extended it, I've increased the gunpowder charge to 90%, and it still operates at 175, but it fits perfectly into a 1 meter shell rack. So now it's, yeah, now it's 1 meter exactly in the shells. So, yeah. If I recall, these guys were fitted with kinetics, actually. The problem is that now they are pure white and absolutely useless. So that's the thing. But yeah, I need to improve the rate of fire of those Gatlings, though. Well, that's going to actually give them the ability to keep on firing in a more moderated pace. Yeah, look at that, pure white. That's not how it was meant to be. Do they even do any damage now? I don't think they do, it's just like firing blanks. I still find that so weird. Why did it wipe the shell design? Has anyone else encountered that bug? Because I didn't do anything to that shell. It just went, basically. Okay, one last look at the system I've worked into this. It is now reinforced with additional standard loaders. So that will take care of, that will take care of letting it keep on firing when it's not actually fully loaded. So when the belts are reloading, it can maintain fire because it's got 3 standard loaders. Most of them have clips on them, so that's going to help it out. All that's left is to work out its firing speed, and then set the barrels spinning. Oh yeah, that's something I noticed, by the way. It doesn't, if it turns too far backwards, it's when we built this thing, we built it to miss the body of the tower, but we didn't build it to miss the sensor pylons that stick out from the tower. So, a slight oversight there on our part, quite honestly. No one noticed this, not even me. So it has actually managed to blow the sensor posts off on one of its previous firings. Also, the big question is, why is it firing some white shells in there? And yellow shells too. Oh wait, no wait, the yellow shells are the bigger ones. Let's force assign all of that to make sure they're all configured correctly. Because there's some other shell types in there, it seems. Are you guys all unified now? Why are you suddenly firing red? Oh, it must randomly assign if you don't manually give the thing a... Oh, never mind. So they're firing every 2.63 seconds. For a Gatling, that's terrible, but I think it's steadied itself now, at least. I think having some cooling running back along the thing would be a pretty good idea, actually. Just improve the rate of fire on the Gatling. Yeah, let's see what that would look like. Cooling vents run along here. They're no further back than about here. Also, I'd like to also note, by the way, there's no recoil compensation on this thing. Okay, that's got much better cooling. However, it probably can't load fast enough. And once again, it's shooting at the sensor posts. This thing needs some fire control. On the bright side, we've got some DACA going on, so there is that, I guess. Okay, right. Something doesn't like me. Something doesn't like me. I'm hearing detonations and things. Oh, hello. There's someone else targeting me now. I think getting the subguns back up might be a bit of a priority, actually. I also suspect that it is a case of it randomly switching its shell type around. Let's see, we're under attack from a red tuna, while my ship is trying to shell a spear. And because of everything else, the red tuna's actually being allowed to engage me. Oh, the subguns are opening fire with their completely useless shells. Woo! I need to fix that. Okay, right. These guys are set to 300mm if I recall. Yep, 300. Right. Where's my shells? Here's my shells. Modify my shell. Right. And you were fitted with a... was it a shape charge or a saber? No. It was a, yeah, you were a high X impact. You were supposed to be somewhat anti-armor, weren't you? Squash head? Lowers AP concentration, also is behind it into shockwave. I think we'll go for a shaped head AP. Or was it squash heads? Oh, I forget which one was really popular with you guys a while back. Ah! Oh well, I can easily swap it over, I suppose. Right, your other 300mm cannons. You need explosive warheads to do something with that. And then, if I recall, there was also some frag in the mix as well. Look at this. Look, why are the cones set to 1 degree of all things? Raz, I noticed, has been suggesting setting these things to 90 degrees instead of 180, so that's appreciated. I didn't like the massive spread on those things. Then a bleed base last is a 285 velocity. That should about do it. It'll get things working at least, but still. At least we're absorbing the incoming fire, such as it is, with our armor plating, so, you know. I just wish my guns would hurry up and deal with that red tuna. The barrages of empty shells. I'm sorry, I can't help laughing at that. It's like this thing just went and goofed and decided, no, we don't want to hurt the enemy. Let's be a pacifist all of a sudden. Let's let them shoot us to pieces. Yes. Which is a slight drawback, but still. It was a green shell though. I've just got to wait for it to finish reloading itself, unfortunately. Well, it's either that or I go around all of the cannons and I manually clear the vents, so to speak. Well, empty the clips out, more accurately, but you know. I think I've actually overcooled that Gatling though. depends on how it performs when it's actually got access to belt loaders. Doesn't it? How are those belt loaders coming along anyway? Yeah, I think I've overcalled it. Let's see, 0.75. 75, and then times it by 3. That gives me a fire rate of 240. So maximum fire rate should be 200 rounds, which is way faster than the loaders can keep up with. So yeah. It seems to fire volleys of shells, this thing. I think, like, yeah, way too much cooling on this thing. Let's get rid of some of that, like, immediately. Let's get rid of this belt back here. So we're now in the fine-tuning stage of this Gatling release. I wanted to do more with this episode, but it seems to be taken up with just, like, adding this Gatling system to it. Okay, so now it's at 1.47. 1.47, which is 122. That seems a lot more reasonable to what it's actually doing. If I drop it to 100 RPM. Wait, no, I did that. No, I actually changed the wrong thing. 100 RPM. Let's keep its 200 caliber. Yeah, I think that should be quite reasonable actually. So let's allow these things to start to spin. Could probably do quite better than that, but got to remember we want to maintain a bit more of a steady stream of smoke shells, because this thing is meant to interrupt enemy laser craft more than anything else. So yeah, we've actually got this thing doing a thing. Excellent. Though I should probably point out this thing is supposed to have its own AI. Right now it's wired into the subguns because I've been a lazy bugger and not got around to sorting the enemies, quite honestly. Hey, it could be worse, and because I added traces to the mix, it's just helping things try to be more accurate. But look at this, it's just like so bad. Right, for the last few minutes of this episode, this will be the last thing I do, by the way, because I've managed to spend like half an hour waffling on and getting confused and building the cannon. This is admittedly I've done both better and worse than when I actually stream this thing, so it's kind of weird, but yeah. Anyway, each AI will aim all connected entities at highest priority targets. Well, it's already set up with multiple AI and sensors, so yeah. What I'm worried about is the sensors. Not accurate enough for them to fire. They fire at target location they aim at jumps around due to bad sensor data. Well, it's actually part of the reason they jump around so much is the fact that this is actually something that you guys told me to do. Part of the reason why the guns adjust themselves so often is because where's the subgun AI? There we go. It's because you guys had me adjusting the aim points every second, so it just bounces. Are you guys still firing blanks? The hell? No, I did change the shell. It's just they've not emptied themselves yet. I think that's what's going on. What is going wrong with you guys? Are you just not loading from anything at all at this point? Have you completely forgotten what you're supposed to be loading? These guys are loading from the... What the... These guys are firing the smoke shells! What? These guys are firing 300mm versions of the smoke shells. Why? Why did you guys decide that was a good idea? What's happened? Because that new controller shouldn't have replaced the previous previous one in your settings. I did nothing to it. The subguns are firing the smoke shells. Well, if any laser craft comes after me, they're going to be in a bit of trouble, but this is not what you guys are meant to be doing. Oh, it's like the ToBA Tower is just like developed a mind of its own at this point and decided, you know what, we don't want to blow things up. We're going to fumigate the opposition instead with choking, billowing clouds of smoke. What the heck happened? I've never seen something like this happen before, and I don't know what to think of it. However, the solution is, quite obviously, that I have to go around all of the subguns and reset their AI load, sorry, their cannon loaders to load the correct shell. But there's no other way around it. I've got to manually reset all of the subguns, which is going to be an absolute pain. Huh. But that also means that my only source of offensive firepower is actually the primary cannon, which is also struggling. I don't even know what to think about all this anymore. Just as well I've reached the end of the episode, because I need some between episode time just to reset the guns. And I think I'll add some more sensor gathering to it as well. That was one other thing that was mentioned, is like... it's like, it's all very well having a lot of sensor stuff on top of the tower, but as part of the refitting process, I actually stripped out all other backup sensor locations, so all of my sensors are on the tower. And apparently that's one of the things that Raz said has been causing issues as well, and bad sensor data, but unfortunately in this episode I've not got the time to fix it, as my ship tries to fumigate the enemy, and does a very bad job of it. What are you guys even... You guys are preparing to shoot something over that way. The enemy hordes are gathering. They sense the weakness and the sort of pacifist nature of my craft, I think. Because they're starting to come at me from multiple directions at once. I don't know. Oh, they actually fired an actual proper cannon barrage on... Wait. You guys fired green shells. Are you guys still set properly? Are you guys still set properly? No, you're not. It's just that no one's actually... You guys have not been firing, so... Yep, there we go. Now they're fine. Oh, I gave up on this for the moment. But yeah, it's about time I needed to stop anyway. This has been Iron Mark III, getting thoroughly confused and sober, as my craft decides to rebel against me for reasons unknown. I had hoped to get a lot more sorted out in this episode, to be honest, but... once again, the situation just runs away with me a bit. Huh. Yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show, and I'll catch you all some other time, where after I beat some sense into this craft and make it start using high explosives again in all of its guns. But yeah, see you all later.